PhD candidate now in my graduating year, actually. So I'm actually graduating hopefully in December this year.
In December?
So, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. And what I have is that my background is in product development and simulation, and my current work is basically in CFD. So like all my work is in ANSYS Fluent, so I model condensation and flashing. That's basically my core strength.
So you said your background is in product development. So you have worked before in product development?
Yeah, I have like R&D experience for like around 3 years, more than 3 years.
More than 3 years, okay.
Uh-huh.
And so what? Another question I have, like, what you are. So I think one of the things you mentioned about your interest in ANSYS, right? I think you look for that.
Yes.
I think that is one of the company that you want to target, in my opinion, right?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like kind of my dream company, actually.
Okay. No, that's fine. Okay. So let's go through your questions then, and then I have some suggestions for your CV also, and we'll go from there. So let me ask you one question first. In December, if you're planning to graduate, is it finalized, or you can there is a chance that you might delay it for another 6 months?
No, actually, the chances that I might go early than December because of my funding situation is not that good.
Okay.
So my like current fundings it ends in summer. So after that, I'm like kind of in middle of communicating with my school if they have any TA stuff or any kind of other funding. It might be possible that I might graduate in like August, end of August.
Okay. So that means you have to look for a job and so forth, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay, so let me tell you about certain things about ANSYS, since have I was there before. So I think your background. One thing I will tell you about, because you have mentioned in your first question that that you have an interest in a career in product development and simulation in the area of CFD. So
Yes.
so let's say if you're applying for a position for a product development engineer, let's say, right, at ANSYS. So there are a couple of things that for a product engineer, it's very very important for him to understand that is required during the time of interview. So my sincere advice for you to would be is when you are interviewing for that particular role, you should know about the product as much as possible.
Okay.
So one of the most important thing about a product engineer is to know about the current product and what can be done to it. So if you are, if what I'm saying, if you are get interviewed, or if you are writing a cover letter for that particular position, please make sure to mention that you have a high level of proficiency of the product, and at the same time, let's say in your PhD you added something for your, like say, even if you wrote a subroutine or if you did something that was used for a certain application, make sure to mention it, because that is one of the most extreme requirement for a product engineer. Okay. So make sure to do that. That means you have a product knowledge. That's number one. Second thing I would say, for example, practical thinking. So are you thinking like a customer? So let's say if I am in the area of nuclear engineering, or if I have a client who is in the area of semiconductors, what they will be looking in a product, what additional things that you see, because you have a proficiency, like you know about the product, what you can see can be done so that extra revenue can be generated.
Okay. Like how you add value to.
Yeah, add value to. So thinking in that terms, and and as I said, any additional knowledge that you can attribute to that role, which probably they will mention in the profile, make sure to answer those questions straight away in your cover letter. Okay.
Okay.
So that's number one. Number two, I would say definitely, a company like Ansys would be one of the good companies, whether Ansys or Abacus, that would be good companies to work with. Do you see any role
Mhm.
there? Did you find any role there on CFD?
Uh, Yeah, on CFT they had a couple of roles. Actually, I did apply to them. Was they needed somebody in combustion, and they were looking for a PhD student.
Okay.
But I did apply that. It was a long time ago, so I would expect they would have already hired whoever they wanted. And I think recently they have their co-op positions open, but they are mostly for undergrad students.
Right, right. They hire. So,
Yeah.
so one of the thing I just want to tell you, and to be realistic, I had uh, about a month back. If you look at my old videos, you will find there is a
Mhm.
person I interviewed who got laid off from the CFD division from ANSYS.
Okay.
And
Mhm.
I'm not saying that that brings some question to it, but my feeling is that it could be possible that the hiring might be little bit tight right now.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It could be possible. I mean, considering the software company, they should not be having that problem, but everybody is going through ups and downs right now. So that's the reason I asked you
Mhm.
why that when are you graduating. So my suggestion to you would be for sure, and I wrote it on one of my LinkedIn posts, is if you can delay your graduation,
Mhm.
it would be very, very, you want to buy time right now as much as you can. So
Mhm.
definitely apply for jobs, definitely look for jobs, but I would say spend as much time as you can to delay your graduation. So
Okay.
try to figure it out in your university from your professor or someone, that even if you after graduation, if you can take one credit or something and still can be enrolled in the school, so that you can just delay
Mhm.
your graduation and don't have to apply OPT, that is good for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So one way of doing that, I was thinking that maybe I could apply to internship positions, and obviously, I mean, if the funding has been cut for a lot of for bigger companies in terms of jobs, I don't know how would they be in terms of internships.
No, so see, most of the internship will be gone by now, for summer at least.
Yeah.
You can, so in my opinion, it all depends on this situation, how the next month or after a month will go. All I'm saying
Mhm.
is, based on the current situation as of today, my advice to you would be, because again, you don't have a job in hand and the situation doesn't
Mhm.
look promising. So when
Mhm.
we graduated, we didn't have to take into account of COVID in our decision making.
Yeah. Exactly.
So
Mhm.
you guys have to do that. So in considering that, I am thinking, if you have to take COVID into account, my suggestion to you would be is, it's a it's a good idea to delay your graduation, if you, because you
Mhm.
are in position to do it, because as of now the situation is, people who are in OPT, who are in H1, are losing their job.
Mhm.
People who are thinking of graduating are delaying their graduation.
Mhm.
So this is the thing that is going on right now. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that would be my advice, because to be honest with you, I am not surprised if thousands of people had to go back home.
Mhm.
It is very, very possible, because to be honest with you, the problem is, even the way I see it, in 2019 December, where you had 10 people or 100 people applying for one position, because
Mhm.
of the uncertainty, even
Yeah.
even somebody has a job, is looking for a job.
Mhm. Yeah.
So that 100 application becomes 1,000, and then it
Yeah.
becomes
Yeah.
and then it becomes a little bit tough and tricky for anybody
Yeah.
to think of, like, whether we should hire or not. That's all I'm saying. And on the top of
Mhm.
that, there are news that companies are cutting salaries and benefits and all that. So what I'm saying, in your decision making, take that into account.
Okay.
Okay. And again, I'm not saying that you should not apply for a job. You should keep doing it, but at the same time, I would say first thing first, go to school and tell them that is it possible to delay graduation in December, because my hope is even if this gonna last for another 2-3 months, maybe by December, hoping that everything should be okay, market will be better, and then your chances will be better.
Yeah.
Okay. What are the some skills that are required by industry in the area of product development? As I told you, for a entry level product development, I would say the maximum, the most important thing will be is the knowledge of the product. I don't think there is any other expectation from you other than that. I don't think they will ask you to, do you know about client management, or do you know about managing BI or anything like that. That's not expected from you. Only thing that is expected from you, how much do you know about the product and how can you contribute, or what you have done to contribute, things like that. So as a PhD student, I think you should be able to answer that question straight away.
Yeah.
And then you said, please share your experience at Oak Ridge, NSYS. How could you highlight some of the skills that? So, as again, going back to some of, I had these sort of a discussions from a lot of students, and my advice again to you is, as I said in some of my videos, is don't go with plan A. Plan A could be, I want a job at NSYS. Then what is plan B? What is plan C? What is plan D? Take a piece of paper, start writing it down, and that plan D could be, I probably had to go back home and find a job there. That could be also in the plan.
Yeah, exactly.
Or what I am going to do. So all I'm saying is, once you have this all written, depends on how the situation goes and how the response goes. Your plan C could be plan B, and plan B could be plan A.
Yeah.
Right. So make sure you write all these things straight away. So the way to do it, the way I have done it, is plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. What I'm doing now, what is my deadline before I switch to plan B, or put my plan B as plan A, because that's how you have to do right now, in probably much more extreme way. So my thinking, if I was you, my plan A could be, okay, I'm gonna look for jobs at ANSYS, Abacus, or let's say any other simulation company. Plan B would be, I'm gonna look for a postdoc position. That could be my plan B. Plan C would be, it doesn't look like I'm gonna find a job. Doesn't look like the situation is gonna be fine in next 2-3 years. What I'm gonna do now? I really want to stay here, or I can move somewhere else too. So there are people who are looking, have asked me, can I go to Canada? Can I look for job in Canada? Can I look for a job? Sort of things like that. Start inquiring, because I would say you want to have as much as information as possible now, so that you can take a decision when it comes to it.
Yeah.
So start collecting all the information as much as you can. And there is also a possibility that that you won't be able to find any job. So what are you going to do then? In that case, my advice would be, if you are able to find a job in any software company, and if you are that desperate that you have, it comes to the matter of survival. Many people have done that too. So it doesn't matter to you then. You can apply. You have software skill. You can learn. Then I'm gonna open to any software company. I don't care. So what I'm saying, that could be anything based on where you are in your plan. Okay.
Yeah.
As far as R&D jobs in the current COVID times, definitely, if you look at, and this is again based on the information I have so far, if you look at oil and gas, if you look at automotive sector, the situation is not good. The jobs cut are in R&D first. The jobs which are not cut are at